Oh, yeah. Oh.
Daddy.
You sound like a professional when you do that.
Dude, that good brother knew he was the last one. He's popping loud.
Liquid gold. Liquid
Sweet,
gold.
radiant haze, dude. Oh.
Well, I without giving it away, that's become your favorite.
I just blew the spot.
You had a bit of a hazy history right there as well. So
that's right.
Well, it's another Tuesday. That means another Beer Baseball Blogcast. We're a little bit country. We are a little bit lock and lull, keeping baseball history alive, one beer at a time. Collectively, we are the Beer Baseball Blog, the adventures of craft beer and baseball. Welcome to episode 115. Unbelievable. For July 12th, 2022, wherever you are watching us live today, please give us a like and a comment. Let us know that you're out there. And as always, we'd appreciate if you subscribe and turn on those notifications. Some housekeeping before we start. If you'd like to support us in our efforts here at the Beer Baseball Blog, you can buy our stickers, buttons, and beer coasters on our Etsy page. Go to beerbaseball.store. If you'd like to become more connected with us and involved, become a Patreon member for as low as $5 a month. Go to patreon.com/Beer Baseball. I'm going to scroll our current Patreon subscribers now. And I like to also announce that we have a new Patreon subscriber. It is Jody Moss, one of my great friends. Jody and Mike Moss are super talented artists from Arizona. And Jody was my first boss, my first graphic design boss.
Really?
It would have been 1990, I want to say, 91. A little dating myself, but she's a super tremendous friend, but also super supporter. They'll probably be in the chat. They, whenever we bring up anything Orioles, Mike goes crazy because he was a big Oriole fan back in the day. They actually started in Chicago. And I'm not sure if they were super baseball fans. I think they went to college in Michigan. They went to Michigan State, actually. Yes, thank you so much, Jody and Mike Moss out there. We super appreciate all of your support. And below, as you can see, all of our great Patreon subscribers. So if you're like what we're doing here, please consider doing that and supporting us. Here is the lineup card for today. And we had a lot of scratches. I'm gonna make a reference here. The Phillies are playing in Toronto tonight, and if you're not vaccinated, you can't cross the border and actually play. So, like JT Realmuto, Aaron Nola, Alex Bohm, I think. There's a few other players that can't play. So we have a sparse lineup today.
Wow.
Our VP of content development is on assignment tonight. Unfortunately, he will not be able to make it. Angela Trinidad, we definitely hope he'll come back and come back strong. Our field correspondent and senior research analyst is in the chat. Yeah, his first job was 90. Kevin Lyon is actually on the road texting, of course, but hopefully he gets back, and we need him. We need all of his expertise and his old brain to get here safe and sound. But his hitting third. What's that?
His old brain.
But hitting third is the Goodwill Ambassador and the Sultan of Swig here at the Beer Baseball Blog. He is Cowboy Jack Durango.
Tuesday night, open all the beers and let me out into the world. Tuesday night, turn all of the lights on over Kevin and Michael Mondragon. Tuesday night, one last call for alcohol, so finish your ice cold craft beer. Tuesday night, you don't have to go home, but we hope you stay here. And I know who I want to take me home. Toppling Goliath, take me home tonight, Daddy.
Let him hear it. Yes.
I love it. And here's a fun fact. I actually I hate that song.
Do you really?
I hate it. I hate it so much. I think it's one of the worst songs ever. But I love your version 1000% more. How about that?
Perfect. If I have one follower, dude, my singing career is worth it.
Yes, you definitely made me a believer of that song. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. But in fairness, I absolutely cannot stand that song. I hear the first strums of it on the radio, I'm immediately turning it.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I'm not sure.
Is it sonically abusive? Or is it like, is there some weird like history behind it? Let's delve into this, bro.
I think that there is a point. I think it was popular like in the early 90s when I first started going to bars. And whenever I used to hear that song, not that I would go, oh my gosh, it's closing time. No, that didn't matter to me. And, everybody would sing it or they play it or something like that.
Sure.
I legitimately I was like, oh, this is just, I hate this so much. I was much angrier, like something by Tool or Helmet or Rollins Band or Fugazi or, anything. Maybe more aggressive. So
like more aggressive in the early 90s. So probably some Tanya Tucker, some Reba.
Yes.
Yeah.
You nailed it.
I'm with you.
Yes. Yeah.
No, I get it, man. Listen, I love Hootie and the Blowfish, and there's a lot of people that don't like that. So I get it. Just sonically, people just don't like certain songs.
Yeah, Hootie. Whenever I hear Hootie, it's a similar feeling. I had much more aggression, so I needed a little bit more to get me from place to place while I was in the car. Actually, in my car in Arizona with no air conditioning, so something soft and ballady or sappy.
Sure.
Just
it's not going to get you through it, dude.
Nah.
You got your big gulp of anger with you. Of course, I get it.
My thirst buster.
Your thirst buster of hatred, bro.
Yeah, that's right. The Circle K thirst buster of anger. I actually I loved 7-Eleven because it also became the default. I actually like the Slurpees better. So, boy, we've gone down the rabbit hole, haven't we?
We've gone some places.
Well, let's get to it. We've gone from Slurpees to what we're drinking tonight. Cowboy Jack Durango. I think you've already given the Iggy on what you're having. But I'm actually Kevin is actually having this great beer from Port Brewing. It is the Mongo Double IPA. I definitely want to hear more about this one because this is one of my kind of gateway beers when we first started doing stuff for craft beers, 2014, 15, I think. This one was the first one that kind of went, it was a double IPA and I haven't had those before. And the Mongo, also Mongo is like my, a nickname for my last name as well, all through high school. And people still call me it today, but yeah, yes. Ed wants me to tell the popcorn story. We were talking about convenience marts, and actually that was from Circle K as well. So I actually one time had to literally, I was this poor in my early 20s that I was so bad off that I had to roll pennies. So I rolled, I would say either 2 or 3 50-cent. If you're familiar, people are probably aren't even familiar with this these days.
It's the
you
red
can
wrapper.
Roll 50 pennies and put them into a paper paper tube, and they actually made me put my phone number on it to make sure that the number was right. So I actually walked over to Circle K and I bought popcorn. So I lived on popcorn and water for a week. So don't tell me that I can't enjoy my craft beer now in all my glory.
Don't tell me I can't enjoy my 1 beer a week because I have discipline.
Yeah. So the Mongo, I love it. This is what Kevin's drinking tonight. But Cowboy Jack Durango, you're going to have this.
I'm going back to the Dude, the one that started the love connection between me and Toppling Goliath, the Radiant Haze India Pale Ale. I don't know if we've talked about it, but it's about to not be sold in Arizona anymore, thanks to some dubious characters out of Anaheim that I will not mention.
Is that for real? Is that a real?
Yeah.
I thought you guys were joking about that.
No, it's legit. They got served with a cease and desist, and so they will no longer sell Radiant Haze in the southwestern United States. There's talk of a collab between the two beer companies, but there's no more Radiant Haze. This is the last can that my tap room had, and that'll be my last Radiant Haze until I go to Decatur, Iowa. Was it? Yeah, Illinois, wherever they are, Idaho.
Right now, come on, Jack.
I knew Decatur. I mean,
Decatur, okay.
Iowa, Illinois, Utah. It's all the same to me.
No, you can't miss the states. The cities maybe, but you can't miss the states. That's not a good shot.
You're talking to 300 pounds of CTE and years of alcohol abuse, brother. It's good that I can remember a city. All right?
Okay, all right. So fair enough. And you've been actually talking to the brewer. Hopefully, maybe we can get the head brewer from
the Toppling Goliath Twitter account sent out something about their brewer doing a talk on he was just talking about beer, and holy cow, this guy talks about beer like you talk about baseball. Like, he loves it. Yeah. And there might be a connection in the future. We're going to invite him on the show.
Fantastic. Love it. That would be awesome to if that's the case. Yeah, and that's kind of disappointing that I'm going to use a music reference here. So there was a band, and Ed Brown's going to love this reference as well. There was actually a band, and this was also in the early 90s, called Negative Land. And Negative Land actually had they put out a I'll say a single. It wasn't even like an album. They just put out a single. It was just called U2. And it literally, they used the same typography that U2 used. And the song was just kind of like this looping, just a song with like looping, what was it? Like samples. But it was just like the letter U and the number 2. And I think it was Casey Kasem saying the letter U and the number 2. And U2 actually sued Negative Land to like a cease and desist. And their claim was it was confusion in the marketplace, that people would buy it thinking it was a U2 album, which is exactly kind of what they were trying to do. They were trying to push buttons or whatever. But this was in the days when I didn't understand confusion in the marketplace. So that story comes to mind when I'm thinking about the Radiant Haze. Is like, I don't see any confusion in the marketplace with Radiant Haze, but maybe there is. Is that kind of what they were claiming?
So it's confusion in the marketplace. It's, Radiant Beer Company has such a strong presence in California that, Toppling Goliath has made inroads into California because it is the best beer on the market. And Radiant had a problem with just this beer in particular, Radiant Haze. From what I hear, dude, this is all like third-hand gossip from my taproom guy, from his beer guy. So I could be wrong, and this could be totally off. But what I was told was, yeah, they made a settlement to where Toppling Goliath wouldn't sell Radiant Haze in the southwestern states.
Wow. Very interesting. Yeah. And hey, Ian, thank you for joining. Yeah, that's a good looking beer. You've probably seen it a lot before. And actually, this is the one Angelo was going to have if he was on tonight as well. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you can find it, grab it up. It's apparently limited inventory. So.
Yeah, that's what. So Stone Brewing actually won their lawsuit against Keystone Light because they went to just Stone instead of just Keystone. It was Stone, and they actually won, but it actually probably bankrupted them. Sure. So, again, I think that's going to happen. This is going to happen a lot. It's kind of interesting that it happened with two beers that we know pretty well.
Right.
Speaking of beers that are defunct, I actually found this one. This is the Getaway Dinosaur by Modern Times.
Ooh.
6.7 ABV, 45 IBU, Citra, Amarillo, Centennial, and Citra Cryo hops. This hazy miracle of beverage craft is a swirling vortex of pineapple and fresh citrus, underscored by just enough fresh pine to make it an utterly lovely drinking experience. I was surprised to find this one. And now whenever I see Modern Times, I have to pick it up because I'm not sure if it's going to be available anymore or if it's somebody else is picking it up. I knew Brewery X was rumored to be taking it over, so I don't know what the deal is, but whenever I see a new one, I'm gonna definitely pick it up and definitely profile it here. I highly recommend you do the same. I also figured out that because of these type of beers, I'm super spoiled and I may never go back to a lager. I noticed that most of the, like, if I have a lager now, it doesn't have like the flavor profile that these beers have. And that I'm super, I won't say used to, but that I super enjoy. And the lagers aren't doing it for me anymore.
They're just,
So,
they don't have the kick.
well, a lot of people like the 405
Right.
or 805. Sorry,
805. Yeah.
The 405 is a freeway that I'm often stuck on when I drive here in Southern California.
The 405 is where you drink 805.
Yeah, I wish that's where I wish that I was drinking an 805. But yeah, 805 is super popular. And when my friend who came here from Boston loved 805 and thought it was like one of the greatest beers ever. And I was like, it just doesn't do anything for me anymore. And these types of beers do. So yes, Ed loves lagers. He also loves Modern Times with Chevy Chase, which is a very deep reference. Thank you for that. Yeah. So when Kevin gets here, we'll definitely. Ian says couldn't tell you the last lager I've had. Yeah, it's like it's not a go-to beer anymore for me. So
no, I've become a snob, man.
Yes,
really
exactly. That's probably it. Yeah, and is it a 605 or 805? I think who knows anymore. So
I think he messed up and called it a 605.
The 605 is another freeway that I'm often stuck on. Yeah, I think it's 805. But yeah, so when Kevin gets here, we'll learn more about the Mongo Double IPA. I was surprised that he had that one. And that's been a beer that's been around for a long time. So as Sam Adams is always a good seasonal beer for sure. All right, so let's get into it. This is this day in baseball history for July 12th. We are in kind of the halfway point here in baseball. Remember, we do over 100 years of baseball here. So whether it's 150 games or 162, there's you'll see some things that we talk about that are a little bit ahead of things like the AllStar Game. We might talk about some AllStar Game stuff. But the AllStar Game actually happens next week. So again, July it's all over the place. And in fact, 6 years ago today, I was at the 2016 AllStar Game in San Diego. So there you go. So a week ahead. So this is July 12th, 1901 at Boston's Huntington Avenue baseball grounds. Cy Young of the Americans, 7 hits the A's 5-3 to win his 300th victory. The 34-year-old will win an additional 211 games. Can you imagine that? That he had 300 at the beginning of the 1900s and still had 200. Like people would die to have 211 games wins in their career. And he established a major league record that still stands today of 511 victories. Unbelievable.
No, he was a hoss too, man. 6'2", 210. Brother was a mastodon.
Yeah.
Big old boy, man. So I looked into Cy Young a little bit because I wanted to figure out where the name Cy came from.
Okay.
He's actually born Denton True Young. is his name. The Cy is his nickname, and there's two stories. So either his nickname was Cyclone because when he first showed up at Major League, he thought he had to impress the team, so he was throwing balls against the fence and ripped off a couple of fencing panels, so they called him Cyclone, and it later got shortened to Cy. Or in his time period, Cy was kind of not a slur, but it's what you would call a country bumpkin or a hillbilly or a redneck.
Oh, interesting.
So there's two schools of thought. He, of course, told the Cyclone story, but the other stories out there circulating, and he's a small town farm boy, so who knows? But hey, man, heck of a ball player.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you sat me down and said, like, your life depends on this, I would have said it was Osiris. It's like I didn't realize that wasn't even his name.
Dude, and that's why Cy is such an unusual name for that time period, so I had to dive into it.
That's very cool. I love also mining these historical pictures and looking at all the signs in the back.
Absolutely.
I would love one of my goals in life, and this will happen, and I'll make this happen. I want to make a wiffle ball park. I used to have a wiffle ball park in my teens in my backyard, and there's actually I think I said it before. There's actually YouTube footage of it. The
Green Monster, was it?
Yeah, I actually took my high school netting that they were getting rid of. I took it to my house, and actually made it like a green monster type of thing. I actually had the foul poles. I actually painted them yellow. I actually had chicken wire. So it's like they actually indented in. So like if you hit them, it was a home run, and it was like, there was too much detail on it. I also had what the distance was. I actually put the signs up and everything. And it was, I did a lot of, and it was the Mondragon Dual Sports Complex because inside we had indoor soccer.
Wow. Yeah, dude, you're a job creator. You're an entrepreneur. Your attention to detail is fantastic.
Yes, and I think it was like one of the first ones to do the video thing back then.
The videos are so funny, dude. They're so great.
Oh, it's completely embarrassing, but it's
no, it's not. It's awesome, bro. I love those videos.
Yeah, we did like pregame and everything, and yeah, it's amazing. So, I'll definitely plug that another time. July 12th, 1911, for the second time in his career, Ty Cobb completes the stolen base cycle. Are you familiar with the stolen base cycle is, Jack?
I am. He's stealing second, he's stealing third, and he's stealing home.
Yes.
All in the same game.
That's right. And he did it in the first inning of the Tigers' 9-0 Bennett Park victory over Philadelphia. The Georgia Peach, which is a great nickname.
Awesome nickname.
Will accomplish the feat 4 times, establishing a major league mark shared with Honus Wagner.
Now, see, there's some controversy here because it's also said, as documented in the 1989 documentary Major League, that Willie Mays Hayes also scored 4.
Yes.
But
well,
we'll leave that up to the historians to decide.
Yes. That seems like one straight out of the movies, if you will.
It's a documentary. I mean,
yes. But I'm sure it was based on something. Absolutely. So, Jack, I want to ask you before we go to the next story. Can you describe, if I were to say this phrase, you have to describe it. The warning track. What is it?
The warning track, and as it applies to baseball.
Yes.
Okay. If I had to guess.
Okay.
There has to be a space in the outfield so the brothers aren't hitting the wall. So the warning track has to be like where grass goes to AstroTurf, or not AstroTurf, but a change in elevation, but you'll break an ankle. So you got to do like a change in like ground materials so that
there you go.
So that they would know.
Nailed it. You nailed it. Well, on July 12th, 1949, the major league owners agreed to install warning tracks made of cinder in front of outfield fences before the start of the next season. The origin of the concept began at Yankee Stadium, where an actual running track used in the ballpark's track and field events helped fielders know their proximity to the outfield fence when attempting to make a play. This is I wasn't aware that this wasn't the standard up to that point, but it makes sense because when you start looking at the old ballparks, like some of the ballparks, like like there's padding on the walls now. They didn't even have those, like, like for instance, like at Wrigley Field, they had the ivy, but then they had the brick wall behind it. So that's actually one of the only places where they don't have padding. They actually have padding on the walls in foul territory, but not in fair territory. So, but there was a lot of even in the 80s when I used to go to some spring training fields, like they didn't have like padding on the wall. It was like this. It wasn't brick. It was, how they had to take the stones and they stack the stones and then put like stuff in between it. Like that was the outfield walls.
What?
And, yeah, it was crazy. I was in Chandler, I believe. Yeah, it's like Compadre Stadium, I think it was. It's no longer there, but yeah, the fields used to be like that. And if we look at some of the old parks, you'll see it's like the actual billboard. I'm sorry, the advertising was just on plywood. It was just painted on plywood, so no padding whatsoever.
So now you said cinder track.
It says made of cinder, which is yeah.
There's two cinders that I know of. One is like a charcoal wood. The other is like a small lava rock.
That's interesting. I never thought that. Actually, in Albuquerque, the Albuquerque it's actually where the Albuquerque Isotopes play now. They actually had in their outfield, it was past the outfield wall, was lava rock. And so that's very interesting that you say that. I wonder if we'll have to do a little bit.
Yeah, we're gonna have to hashtag do the research and see what the cinder tracks. What was the footing on the cinder tracks? Now, is there a standard? What, 8 feet, 10 feet, 14 feet? Like, what are we talking? What's the regulation on that bad boy?
That's a very good question. I would tend to think it's like. It looks like 12 to 14 feet.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's a standard or not. Hey, look who's here.
Another hashtag do the research. There's two of them right there.
There's while Kevin gets set up, I think your audio is off, Kevin. Yeah. So there you go. There's this really Kevin, do you remember seeing like on it wasn't, maybe it was even on like Rogan's Heroes, but I remember it more from Marv Albert's Albert's Achievements Awards. There was a very famous clip of this guy, and I think it was in Vancouver.
Rodney McRae.
What's that?
Rodney McRae running through the wall? Is that what you're thinking?
Was that Rodney McRae? I was going to say, did you remember that? And he ran like straight through the wall.
Very famous clip. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you perfectly.
Okay, because it seems like it's a little off here, but okay, I'll figure it out. I do want to add, in a previous Hazy history, we talked about another reason why everything changed with the padding and the warning track was Pete Reiser was a player who was a fantastic player for the Dodgers for a few years, but he was one of those crazy gung-ho players who just
dove kamikazed into the wall. Just full force.
Completely ran into it, and like to where he was like knocked out, blood was coming from his nose, and that happened to him like twice because literally it's just brick walls, back then. I think Wrigley's probably the only one that doesn't have padding. And
right.
This is around the time they started to change everything for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And it used to just be like I said, the plywood, and then it would have like a little bit of give. And even in some minor league parks they still had that as well. Mm-hmm. So I think that they're upgrading all that because there's some grisly injuries, And but on the same day, so that July 12th, 1949, same day this happened, the very first All-Star game featuring black players takes place at Brooklyn's Ebbets Field. Dodgers Roy Campanella, Jackie Robinson, Don Newcomb, and represent the National League in an 11-7 loss to Indians outfielder Larry Doby and his AL teammates. So again, Larry Doby,
right
2
weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Right in the mix. Oh yeah, there's that Mongo.
Yes, please tell us about this Mongo.
I mean, when I just want to get a good double IPA, this is almost like my go-to. Like I went to Total Wine, I'm like, I don't want to spend 10 minutes walking around the store. And I was like, you know what? It's time for a Mongo because a good double IPA, 8%. And I don't know if you saw Mongo. They did change the artwork on the can recently. This is new.
Yeah.
It used to just be a very generic can it was just like an orange can with like a couple lines on. Now they just added this little design to it, which it's a cool little touch here. Oh, jeez. I don't want to spill here. I was trying to read. You know what? Let me read off the empty can. The can that I didn't open yet. Oh, yeah. So here you go. This is by Port Brewing. They're out of San Marcos, which is, I believe, San Diego area, I want to say.
Yeah.
I think it's a suburb of San Diego. Since launching in 2006, Port Brewing has embodied the laid-back, hop-forward lifestyle. That means no matter what life delivers us, we take it in stride. Our beers are brewed with our fans in mind to deliver happiness one can at a time. We hope this beer finds you in your happy place. Cheers. And it sure does.
Nice.
They also have a similar theme one. The only thing I think I've had of there is another IPA called Wipeout.
Oh, okay.
Another good solid one.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
Oh, awesome. We're glad you're here, safe and sound.
I know there's so much I wanted to say when I was driving to home, and I'm going, oh man, I can't intercede here. As I was like, I got to at least get on and talk about Pete Reiser.
Yes, very good call on that one.
And not Paul. Any relation to Paul Reiser? You know, Mongo?
Yeah, they were like three. They were third cousins, twice removed.
Okay, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, and right on cue, my internet's wonky, so.
Well, you sound okay. You sound normal so far, sir.
Perfect. All right. So July 12th, 1955 at Milwaukee's County Stadium, Cardinal outfielder Stan Musial comes to bat, leading off the bottom of the 12th inning of a 5-5 all-star deadlock. Now, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't there a there was a all-star game in Milwaukee where it went to a tie?
Oh, is that where the tie was? Because I remember there was a tie about 8 to 10 years ago.
Because I think it was Bud Selig. It was at Bud Selig. It might have been. Okay. I remember Bud Selig being a Milwaukee person, and I think it was in Milwaukee. You might want to.
Yeah, there were people pretty upset about that tie, but I think they ran out of pitchers. So
right, exactly. That, okay, so this is at Milwaukee County Stadium in '55 of a 5-5 tie in the
in 1955
in the bottom of the 12th. After now, this is an awesome story. If true, there's only 3 people that could probably account for this story. Unfortunately, potentially all 3 of them are no longer with us anymore.
Well, I'm right here, so don't worry.
So a 4th person. I'm sorry.
Yes.
All right. So tell me if this is true, Kevin. After Yankee catcher Yogi Berra complains about his feet hurting, Stan the man tells him.
Well, to be fair, that's a catcher 12 innings catching.
That's it.
Yogi's still catching. It's not like he would play the entire game. That's a little rough.
All right. So after Yogi Berra complains about his feet hurting, Stan the man tells him, "Don't worry, I'll have you home in a minute." Then promptly hits a game-winning home run off Frank Sullivan on the next pitch.
Yes.
I could see Yogi going, okay. And he just flashes down like a 1.
Yeah.
Dude, that story's so good. I want to believe it. Let's will it to be true.
It happened. I'm telling you. Yogi was like, all right, I'll give you a little help. And he just put down like a 1 for the, nice little slow pitch coming in and bam.
I think it's an awesome story if true. Yeah. Yes. And Ed says true story. There you go. So
don't let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Yeah, I think it's a great one. I love this picture as well. And I'm not sure who that guy
is. It doesn't harm anybody. No one gets hurt by that story. You can embellish a little on that.
The legend grows. Speaking of legend, this is a legendary story.
Oh,
Legendary story coming up.
Mm-hmm.
July 12th, 1979, after a delay of an hour and 16 minutes, the White Sox forfeit the second game of a twilight doubleheader against the Tigers when over 5,000 adolescents refused to leave the field during disco demolition night. Son of Bill Veeck, Mike Veeck's promotion involves admitting fans for 98 cents with a disco LP or 45, then collecting the vinyl records to blow it up in center field. Now, this was done in conjunction with a very famous radio DJ at the time. And what I didn't know about this is I looked further into this, and I know that you guys are going to do a hazy history on this at some point. But the one thing that I never put together, I was 9 years old when this happened, and I totally remember it like it was yesterday. And but the one thing that I didn't know about it was that it was actually, if it was kind of done today, it would be seen as like there was a lot of homophobic rhetoric around it, a lot of rhetoric, we'll say.
A lot of hate speech, dude.
A lot of hate. Yeah. That's what kind of made this all happen. Which I wasn't wasn't aware of.
And what city was this in?
This is in Chicago. It's
no, of course, Terry. Yeah, keep it classy, Chicago.
Well, and you know what? And honestly, there might be some racial things to this too, because there was definitely a lot of black performers who was doing disco too. You know, you got the Donna Summers and the world and Evelyn Champagne King, people like that. You know,
yeah, Michael Jackson.
You know,
for sure, right?
Yeah, I mean, people are gonna look at the BJs and be like, yeah, those fairies. I don't know. That's a nice way of saying
don't act like you weren't there screaming it, Grandpa.
Yeah, Kevin's thrown his. This is when like Kevin went over to Lock and Low. This is when he went into his punk rock. He threw all his LPs in the.
I couldn't throw away my Saturday Night Fever soundtrack though. That's so classic.
Yeah, it was like a big deal. I mean, the Bee Gees, which were huge at that time. Like went to superstardom during that time, but they were actually kind of vilified for it as well.
Yeah, they were around already for like a good decade before that. They've been making music since like the 60s.
Yes.
You know, which I didn't know till way years later. Now, Michael, was this explosion done in between games?
Yes. Yeah, okay. It was done in between games. And actually, it's like again, we were talking about double headers, how they were kind of this year. We were talking about it like the double headers are actually, thank goodness they're not they're 9 innings. They're not 7 innings like they have been in the past due to COVID. But that they're twilight double headers were like a thing. So a game in the afternoon and then one at night is the way that they regularly scheduled them.
Yeah, it was a pretty regular thing. But now if it happens, it's even crazier because now it's literally separate admissions. Like you have to pay for each game individually now.
Right.
That must have changed in the last decade or so, I think.
Yeah, it was a gimmick to get people in there.
Yeah. It's like, hey, you can come see 2 games for the price of 1. It's like, great.
Exactly.
You know, Chicago definitely is a thing for that because obviously, Ernie Banks was known for hey, let's play 2 today and all that. So the Cubs had a lot of that too.
Dude, this picture inspires me. I'm gonna build a time machine. I'm going to travel back in time and meet a young, fresh, gleamy-eyed professional wrestler named Disco Machine. And I'm going to show him this picture and zoom in where there's a sign back there that says Disco sucks. And I'm going to have him print that and put it on a t-shirt and become the #1 merchandise seller in professional wrestling. Like, what a good heel move.
I love it. It's so good. That was one of the great gifts of that gimmick. It was like either you loved it or you hated it, and most people hated it. So it was automatic heat generator.
But either way, dude, if they love it, if they hate it, you're getting a reaction. That's
true.
Brilliant.
And there was one in the movie Stripes, which I think came out in 81.
182, yeah.
81, 82, and there was they get busted at the
mud wrestling
thing.
Oh yeah,
they come back and they're all standing there, and they pan across and there's a guy wearing it says "Death Before Disco," which
that's right.
Wow.
Was that Francis?
That was a great shirt I always wanted to do.
Was that Francis wearing that, or was it Judge Reinhold? I'm trying to think of one.
Oh, it might have been Judge Reinhold, I think. Judge Reinhold, totally. So this is a.
Can I ask one more question? So, did these fans come on the field themselves, or were they invited on the field to see the explosion up close?
So that's very interesting. I think so they had that DJ that I was talking about, that radio DJ, and he came out like in a full like helmet and like army gear,
of course,
and he really riled up the crowd. And it was like, and if you see the footage of this, like they blow it up and like people go crazy, like it was like a frenzy. And so I think it was a part of that, like he really kind of this DJ really riled everybody up, and that's more where they got that kind of hate.
And I'm curious too to find out if this was like a rock station too. So you're getting like
it was, yeah,
definitely had to be. I'd say definitely not top 40. So whatever a rock station, like what would a rock station be playing in '79? You know, and I wouldn't even need anything that heavy. I guess it'd be like a Zeppelin or the Stones and the Beatles, stuff like that.
Right.
Maybe like a classic rock and roll station because
you
know, I don't know what it wasn't like those real upbeat rock. You know, it wasn't like those loud rock besides Zeppelin and these guys, because like punk rock wasn't really a thing in '79.
At the time, they didn't call it classic rock; they just called it rock, bro.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Hendrix, Doors, right?
Yeah, Doors have been now 10 years before this, but yeah, that's close enough. You know,
I mean, they're still gonna play it.
Well, this is what I mean. This is why disco kind of rose, is that it seemed like that, and like punk rock rose because it's like people were bored by some rock going on in the '70s.
Exactly.
Whole another discussion.
Right. And that's how like grunge happened. I mean, basically it's the same kind of thing. So like
grew out of metal. People were
music movement happened because of kind of a lull in rock, you know, like but yeah, it's you guys should definitely do a hazy history. I think you guys have a lot of fun.
No, it's I mean, strange, much like January 6th, a small man in a fake army tough guy outfit riled up a bunch of psychos. I dig it. All right. Hey, history does repeat itself, guys.
Yeah. And
even Ed Liskell bands. And I don't even know if Sabbath been being played on the radio much in 1979 on the mainstream station. You know, I don't know about that. That might be like one of those being played like late at night. You know, Thin Lizzy, you probably get your boys are back in town. But
dude, bro, if there's a radio station that's willing to set off explosives in a baseball stadium,
they're probably playing.
I'm sure that they were like the heavy Black Sabbath brothers. You know what I mean?
Well, I think Ozzy is the one that got more, like after Crazy Train, he got more play.
Yeah, well, that's
that. And then they went back to the Black Sabbath catalog.
Yeah.
All right, so
I love this show, by the way. It's amazing.
We're 45 minutes in and we're only in 1993.
I know. So July 12th, 1993, Ken Griffey Jr. becomes the first and only major leaguer to hit Baltimore's B&O warehouse on the fly. The Mariner outfielder launches an estimated 460-foot shot during the AllStar Game home run derby contest at Camden Yards. So I wanted to show you exactly how far that is. Now, if you've never been to Camden Yards, now the interesting thing about this is, so right where you see where it is, so the scoreboard goes up. There's a little, that's like a porch, and then behind that there's a walkway. So you walk down this. It's a street called Utah Street, and so you can either come, there's an exit right there in the corner, or you could go to the right and walk around the stadium some more. So right where that hit, there's a team shop, and I'm like looking for it because if you look in the ground, they mark just like these. They have these little plaques, but they're in the ground. They're like where people have actually hit it over. So like, for instance, in San Francisco, they have splashdown, you know, they kind of mark the splashdown, but in Baltimore where they hit, if people hit them far enough, they put the distance. You can see the distance there at the bottom. But for this one, for Ken Griffey Jr., you literally have to look up the wall and up. It's not like it's like 6 feet above, like you could touch it. Like you can't even touch this one. It's so far. Like it's crazy how far he hits.
So two things. And if you look, he's in the opposite field too. Yeah. He's a righty and he's hitting it that way. That's crazy.
Oh no. Griffey's a lefty. So
I'm sorry. I thought that was actually the shot.
Yeah,
I'm
so
going,
he's a lefty.
wait a minute. He did that off the field. I'm like, okay, sorry.
Yeah, this is just to illustrate how far it was. I just took
and
a
I'll
shot.
tell you, like I saw a Ken Griffey Jr. sign. If you go to Everett, which is now called Funko Field for the Funko Pops, because that's where the Funko factory is, they bought the rights for the name of that stadium in Everett, Washington. Just outside the left field wall, a little bit past it, there's a little thing on the ground that commemorates Ken Griffey Jr.'s first professional home run. It actually left the ballpark. I don't remember the exact number. I think I took a photo of it, but this is back in like 2019. I went. I was just like, "Oh my god, it's amazing!" It's just one of those things that you wouldn't even know about because I happened to be walking by and I was like, "Oh, what's that on the ground?"
Yeah, and granted, I mean it's a home run derby, so they're kind of grooving pitches, but still, I mean that's
yes, what I thought too, Ed. But that's not Ken batting there. All right,
yeah.
But hey, the one I saw, it went left center, went a good 400 some feet, so he definitely pulled that one. In Everett, Washington, for his first home run, first of several hundred of his career.
Crazy. So
you couldn't pay me money to go to Baltimore, okay?
Wow.
No reason that I would want to go until I found out about the B&O warehouse.
Oh my gosh.
So this building is 430,000 square feet, 8 stories tall. It was like a rail car like shipping building where they would load rail cars. And I mean, it's discontinued, of course, because we have trucks now. So now it's like a club for the Orioles and private offices. And they have like a wedding reception hall in there. Like this building intrigues me. This would be the only reason I would go. It's like 1,000 feet long. Like, that's an insane building.
So that's only like not even half of it that we see in this picture, if that.
Yeah.
I mean, when I went to Baltimore once in the 1984. The Orioles out of town, but I got to do the Babe Ruth museum, which I know you did too, right, Michael?
Yeah. Yep.
And as a 9-year-old, going to Edgar Allan Poe's birthplace. Definitely a weird thing to do as a 9-year-old kid when I look at Retrospect Boy. Why am I going to Edgar Allan Poe stuff as a 9-year-old? a little weird, but
Quote the Lion, nevermore.
That's right.
Baltimore, it's cool. And this was, so Jack, this stadium was kind of like it opened in like what, 93?
I think earlier than that even.
It might have been.
It was the first real modern stadium.
Well, it was the one that kind of went back to they were going to tear down this building and they're like, oh no, let's build it in. And now that's what they did in San Diego for Petco.
Yep.
They use the buildings now, and it was like one of the
they incorporate the buildings into the stadium. That's
right.
And then the woman who there's a woman that designed this. Mm-hmm. And she actually designed the new Dodger Stadium.
Of course a woman did it, dude. Women are way more smarter and resourceful than men. Like we don't give them enough credit, dude. Yeah, cheers to all the good sisters out there.
Yeah, she's probably going to get in the Hall of Fame just for like her contributions to like stadiums like this. So
this is gnarly.
Now one more question, Mongo. Where is Boog's Barbecue?
Boog's Barbecue is exactly where Ken Griffey hit it. It's
that's what I was going to ask. I thought it was on the right field side.
Yes.
So there's a player named Boog Powell. I doubt he's still cooking anymore because
it's still there, but he doesn't go there anymore.
He actually used to be barbecuing. It's called Boog's Barbecue for Boog Powell, a guy you'd appreciate, Jack, if you looked him doing some more. And it's just a good character in baseball.
Miller Lite commercials.
Yeah,
really.
Miller Lite commercials. Yeah, and he was known for just hanging out barbecuing.
When I went there in 96, for the first time I saw the White Sox Orioles, Boog Powell was there.
Yeah.
He was
really
there. Yes.
That was kind of like
that's super inspiring. Like being a former professional athlete myself who loves to barbecue. It's my dream to go to Cabo and open up a bar/barbecue joint and just make ribs and steak all day and sling tequila shots. Like, what a great life, dude. You have this awesome life as a professional athlete. And it's like, no, I want to make brisket, dude. Like,
and drink beer.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
There's a reason I want to do it in Mexico, dude. I don't want too many regulations slowing down my drinking.
So July 12th, 2019, how quick did 3 years go by, right?
Yeah, and Angelo's at this game. It's too bad we don't have
or
Mo
it would be 4 years now, right?
Three. 19
3
plus
years.
3 is 22,
years.
sir.
Okay.
Yeah, Angelo's at this game. Let's note that right away.
That's right. Yeah. One day before what would have been her son's Tyler's 28th birthday, Debbie Skaggs throws out a perfect ceremonial pitch with his teammates wearing the jersey number 45 in honor of the left-hander who was found dead in the Angels Hotel in Southlake, Texas on July 1st. Now, I mean, super emotional game, right? LA starter Tyler Cole goes 2 innings and reliever Felix Pena combined to throw the 11th no-hitter in franchise history in the team's 13-0 victory over the Mariners before the players removed their jerseys one by one, spreading them on the mound, covering the mound in a very, very emotional time. This is a crazy, like if there was ever if like baseball was scripted, it would be
you couldn't write this. You couldn't write this moment.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Like there was only one other time that I could say like baseball was like scripted. It was like Jose Fernandez had died and like D Gordon like hit a leadoff home run and like was crying around the base paths. It was like, it was like, and he let off the bottom of the first, with a home run for his fallen friend. And it was like, it was super emotional. This one was like, I remember watching this and thinking to myself, like, this is not, this can't, it's too perfect. And it actually played out. And Angelo was there. I will definitely have to talk to him more about this. Moment.
I can't imagine there being a dry eye in the house, man. Like you couldn't write this story. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
like if you wrote this story, everybody would be like, come on, that's too far fetched. Like we don't do fiction here.
And the Halo Haven guys were there as well, and they've definitely talked about being there at length on their podcast in the past.
Yeah.
So before you move on, I believe in this picture here, in the what would be my left in the picture, there's a gentleman with glasses on.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's Eric K, who was the Angels communication director, and ultimately he was convicted of manslaughter for number 45.
Yeah,
he was his dealer for fentanyl.
No kidding. I didn't realize he was in this picture. That's crazy.
So now I've only seen a few photos and it looks that guy looks familiar. I could be way off, but it was the Angels communication director, Eric K, that was kind of taking advantage of Good Brother and selling him the dope. And so, hey, I guess we just stumbled onto this week's deplorable baseball bum of the week. Eric K.
Yeah. Is Matt Harvey in this picture as well, potentially?
Most likely, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole team out there.
Yeah. You can lump him in there as well, I think. I think there's a lot of chicanery. So super tragic, terrible story. There's a lot of like there's a graphic with like all these numbers. Like for instance, this was the 11th no-hitter in franchise history, and like number 11 was what Tyler when he was in like a kid playing baseball, that was his number 11. So there's always like these little
there was like some people were coming up with some crazy numbers. And I can't remember them all, but it's just going, okay guys, relax a little bit.
It got super crazy. All right, so let's do some baseball card sharks. Kevin, I'm so glad you're here because this week's card sharks is so good. We have like we're using retired players, but I put something in the mix. Okay. And let me go over this real quick. Here are the baseball card shark standings. Kevin's still in a commanding lead. I'm not too far behind, but still I think 3 games behind. Angelo had did Angelo have a win? I think that it was Jack and you, Kevin, had wins last week. So definitely some competitive play here. Here are the baseball card shark standings. We're going to draw 11 cards. 3 go on your bench. We start at the bottom. We're going to pick a category. We're going to work our way up the top. High-low game. We'll walk you through it all. So let me remove this.
Well, you get that red. I can appreciate that both of us are wearing different Maverick team hats.
Oh,
I
yes.
appreciate that. I like that one. I have the black one. I almost like that one better than the one I had.
Yeah, I haven't worn this a lot. This is the high desert.
I don't remember you getting that. So you obviously got that the same day I did.
I think I got this for like $5, and it's like one of my favorite hats. It's
because it was like their last ever game. We saw them win the championship, and then they closed as a franchise.
That's right. That's right.
That is a super cool hat, man.
Yeah.
All right. So
that could be Cowboy Jack Durango.
Well, if Cowboy Jack Durango didn't like cheeseburgers and drinking copious amounts of beer, dude, and loved doing sit-ups, that'd probably be me.
All right. Wait a minute. Wait a second. Did I just see what I? Oh.
Okay. So I have three things here. So I have pitchers and I have 2 position players. So but I wanted to preface this that I had these picked out beforehand.
Yes.
And then, so Kevin, you have some pint packs coming. So I decided to get you some more for that. So Wednesday night on Instagram, you can see Kevin. He drinks a beer, opens up some old baseball.
And I'm going kayfabe this week and next week's Thursday. Kayfabe.
There you go. There you go.
Whatever. We'll figure it out.
All right. So so usually it's on Wednesday, but it'll be Thursday. But look for it on our Instagram page.
I'll put the word out.
So I was getting some more packs for you for it, and I have some really good stuff for you. And then I came across this.
I can't believe what you just have to pull out.
This is this is the Premier Edition player set, the Senior Professional Baseball Association.
Yes,
so
sir.
I'm like, so I look at it. It's a complete set of 132 cards, as you see, and I'm like Scooby-Doo. I'm like, huh? I'm like, what is this thing that I'm not aware of and I need to be more aware of? And so for those not familiar, the Senior Professional Baseball Association went for 2 years. It was 89 and 90. Mm-hmm. And I didn't realize that Topps put out cards of this. Okay, so I'm gonna put that right there. Kevin, go ahead, fill in before I show.
Michael, are you aware I went to like several senior league baseball games?
No, okay, so that would have been in the second year because the first year it was in Florida, but they were out here.
I went to several games in San Bernardino. Stop. I don't remember the team name, but San Bernardino Fiscalini Field, which was the stadium's still there, but they no longer play there. But that was the stadium where that was the San Bernardino Spirit, which actually Ken Griffey Jr. played.
Oh, right. Oh, my God. Okay.
In this second season, they had a senior league team in San Bernardino. So my mom and my dad and I, we went to a few games. That's the first time I ever got a foul ball in my entire life. So I went out to put something in my car, and I couldn't find where my parents parked their car. Which is funny because it's like, 200 people here, and I can't find my car. And all of a sudden, a ball just pretty much bounced in front of me. I'm like, cool, I got a foul ball.
That is awesome. So I got this set for $5. Okay, so 132 cards.
Who's in this?
By the way, it's like the best $5 I've ever spent in my whole life. And I have peppered the pitchers and also the position players with players. Okay, because they have like their career stats on there. You can't believe some of the great gold mine that's in these players. But I wanted to show this. So the very first commissioner was Curt Flood. And if you're not familiar with Curt Flood, he's basically responsible for free agency. He's a seminal member of baseball. I mean, back then people probably hated him.
Oh my gosh. He was a great player whose career was kind of ruined because he was trying to stand up for players' rights.
That's it. And definitely so Curt Flood is the commissioner of this league.
Wow. Now if you could spotlight Curt Flood again.
Sure.
He was also a hero for the community with astigmatism because look at those glasses, dude.
Yes. I believe Urkel was based off him.
Right,
this is right before Urkel, I'm sure.
Yes.
So into a San Bernardino game and got inspired seeing him in his suit and tie.
So the Gulf Coast Suns, the manager is Earl Weaver.
Oh my goodness.
Earl Weaver is your manager of the Suncoast Suns, right?
And he looks like he is baking.
Suncoast Suns?
Gulf Coast Suns.
So
is that a Texas team?
no, it's probably the Panhandle, right?
Florida?
Yeah. Probably. We'll have to look all this up.
Jack.
Dude,
look at all that. Look at all that sweat, Jack, on his jersey.
Brother, look at that hat, dude.
I don't see the cigarette.
In love with that hat.
I don't see the cigarette pouch though.
Dude, it gets so much better. Are you ready for this?
Oh, I'm excited.
Barry Bonds' dad is a manager, also sporting the Urkel spectacles there.
Hey, he's a little older.
He's a little older.
You know what? He's probably you know what?
The team name?
The team name is the St. Lucie Legends.
So there you go, St. Lucie, Florida.
That was a cool jersey, bro.
So good.
And I bet you, Michael, that he was the player manager. I bet you he was playing.
He had to be. He definitely would put himself in there.
The minimum age for that league was something, I don't even know if it was 40. It might have been like 35.
Yeah. So let's explain that. So in golf, they have like the senior league, the senior tour. But this was actually a flop. It actually folded in its second year. The attendance wasn't great. The attendance was good at first, but I don't know how Dick Williams on the Tropics. If you've seen what was the movie with Will Ferrell? Like it's literally the same logo.
Wow. Are you talking about the basketball movie he did?
Jackie Moon. Yeah. I
can't remember I can't remember right now. Sorry. But yeah, Jackie Moon, the aviator.
So the West Palm Beach Tropics.
Wow.
Okay,
so
that's like, chat, dude. Who knows the name of that Will Ferrell movie?
You have 2 Hall of Fame managers right there. Wow.
Okay, so they have these 2 cards, and I have to show you these 2 cards before we move on.
All right.
So Randy Bass may personify kind of like the second tier. So like in Major League Baseball, there's guys that hit like 220, 200, like have a cup of coffee. But this guy was actually the kind of like one of those players. This is Randy Bass looking.
My God, dude!
This guy is ready to play right now. I believe Randy Bass, like he played in like Japan, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He ended up being pretty successful in Japan. What is the team name there?
This is the Orlando Juice.
Bro.
Look out!
Stop, dude. Check out Randy Large and in charge and looking for Chicky's Bass, dude.
So what I was going to tell you also, Mongo, is that, and Jack, is thank you. I'll leave that look out. Is that it wasn't all Major League Ball players either. I think they had a couple guys who never played in the major leagues. Not Tropic Thunder's not the movie.
That's the Vietnam movie.
That's the Vietnam movie with Vietnam. The movie made
with Nick Nolte and Matthew McConaughey and Tom Cruise.
No, not quite, sir.
Actually, they are all in there. Nick Nolte.
They're all in there, but Tom Cruise in there too. Let's say
Tom Cruise and Matthew McConaughey, headliners in that movie. Champ.
All right.
Some nobody named Ben Stiller and Jack Black. I mean,
no, and that Morton Downey Jr. Right,
yeah,
Michael?
Morton Downey Jr. Remember when Roddy Piper went after him?
Yes. Oh, yeah. WrestleMania 4.
Oh, Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. That guy.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
All right, but I want to show you this. I want to show you this card before we start because it is the most. It may go down as the most awesome card in baseball history, and then because there's that's saying a lot. This one should be up there with the Billy Ripken card. There's actually that card where the guy it looks like he gets hit like in the crotch. There's so many good cards.
Yeah,
this card needs to be on there. This is Walt Williams. Now I want you to look closely. Not photoshopped at all. Look at they put his head. It's not his head on there.
No,
they put his head. That's not his. That's his body.
No.
But they put a different head on him.
Oh my God!
So if
that's
you look
amazing.
At it, and I'll post this on our social media. This is possibly one of the greatest cards of all time, just because they put his head on there. Now this is 89. So
I'd never even heard of this guy.
Walt Williams. He actually had a major league career. He actually hit 270. He played in 842 games. I'm not sure who with. You know, he hit 257 in the Senior Professional Baseball Association, but one of the greatest cards of all time. Look at him. You can just see, like I said, it's like Beetlejuice.
Yeah, that's not Photoshop.
He's got no neck.
It
I
is.
used to hear Jesse
goodness.
the Body say that about Junkyard Dog. He's got no neck.
That's right.
He only has traps.
It's,
Brother,
it's one of the greatest cards of all time. Okay.
Brother doesn't skip shoulder day for real.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we do?
Do the research, semi-pro.
Semi-pro.
I would not remember
Semi-pro.
that. I would
Perfect.
not remember that.
Yes.
Oh, there you go. Ian at the same time. Thanks, Ian.
All right.
I didn't see that you put it down there.
All right, so let's do one of each. Let's do pitchers and I'll do the executive move right here.
All right.
So we'll do one
So
of each.
some of these have the senior league cards in there.
No, they both do. So
Okay,
so
that's
they're
what I meant.
sprinkled in
That's what I
there.
meant. Okay.
So we're gonna go
for
pitchers.
What are we doing? What's the category in pitchers, Kevin?
Strikeouts.
Okay.
Strikeouts?
Yeah, sure. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Okay,
do
let's
it.
do it. So strikeouts. All right.
Because we're going to see Jack strikeouts, so we might as well do strikeouts.
Oh wow! I was gonna go for more of a you talking to the waitress at a brewery strikeout joke, but no, that's fine.
I
We
didn't
can
say
make
you're
it card sharks.
Yeah, you know.
All right, here we go. Who's going first?
Jack, you got
Yours-
picked enough on last week about.
I know,
Yogi with
for
Woodland,
real.
right?
Thank God Jennifer's
Yeah.
not here to set
Yeah,
that
you want
one.
to go? You want to go first, or want me to
Heck
show
yeah,
you?
baby, give it to me,
All right,
All right,
baby.
here we go.
baby.
Pedro Martinez starting out. Good strikeout pitcher.
Yep. Oh, who's that?
Sheriff Blake.
Wow.
Wow.
Sheriff Blake.
1925 back picture. All right.
Here is one of the Senior Professional Baseball cards.
Yes. I can't
Are
wait
you
to
ready
hear
for this, Kevin Lyon?
I am so ready.
Vita Blue.
Don't get me started by
Vita
the blue.
Blue.
No,
On the
I don't like
juice?
that man. I don't like that man.
From the Orlando Juice.
My God, the Orlando Juice. What a brilliant team name, dude.
I don't recall for sure, but I think he was on the San Bernardino team. I can tell
Wow.
my Vita Blue story when we get to my turn.
This
Because
is
Jack
very
won't get that
underrated
far.
pitcher, Billy Wagner.
Oh,
Billy
yeah, there you
Wagner.
go. Yeah, that's a great picture too.
Cool picture. Gaylord Perry.
Oh yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Cauliflower ears.
How was
Unbelievable,
he
Kevin.
not in the senior league?
Your second senior league card, Kevin
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Doc Ellis.
No way.
Wow. That's fantastic.
Doc
he was-
Ellis for the St. Petersburg Pelicans.
I'm writing that down. I have to find some merch. I want
So
a shirt. I want a shirt.
Good.
God, that'd
So
be hard to
good.
find nowadays.
Yeah, you got to shift the top row over to the right one cell.
Kevin was just at the Tigers ballpark.
Yeah.
Here is Jim Bunning from the Tigers. A
Is that-
Tiger.
oh wow, that's a 75. Is that actual 75 card or is that?
It's not an actual 75. It's
okay.
a it's
Okay, that's what I
reproduced.
was wondering. I was like, that's cool.
Yep.
Hey,
That's what I was wondering. 'Cause I
Disco,
don't remember seeing that.
Disco, we need to,
so
real quick,
this-
second row needs to shift over to the right. One row. One
Oh,
cell.
that's right. Yep.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, you mentioned
go.
that. I didn't catch that. Sorry.
Phil Necro. Phil
Phil
Necro.
I got excited with looking up the San Bernardino Pride was the team that played.
There you
in
go.
1990. I was trying to see who. Yeah, Vita Blue is on that team. So
Wow.
I was getting a little bitter seeing that. I was like, oh no, I'll play some of our players when it's my turn.
On your bench, Jack Morris.
Jack Morris looks like the coach on
Morris
Major
the
League.
Cat. Yes, Jack Morris the Cat. Your third senior league card is Dick Drago,
Oh my god.
Dude, Dick
Yeah.
Ivan Drago.
and he plays for the Fort Myers Sun Sox. Fort Myers Sun Sox. And your last card
Sun
is the
Sox.
late
Yeah.
great Roy Halladay.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
I love these senior cards. These are amazing. This is pretty
some great
amazing
cards. All right.
Oh
So
my gosh.
let's go with Pedro Martinez. Strikeouts would be, oh boy,
Oh boy. Oh.
3154. 3154. So a lot of strikeouts for that man. So Sheriff Blake, not Colonel Henry Blake, but Sheriff Blake. That's for you MASH fans out there.
So, guys, is there a stat like Mr. 3000 when it comes to pitching for strikeouts? Is there
3,000 is definitely a milestone.
But no, isn't Mr. 3000 for batters? I mean, isn't
It's
that
a 3,000.
I mean, that was a Bernie Mac film. Yes.
right? But like that, the
That
3000
because
is
he
like,
has hits.
right.
Yes, that's for hits.
But is there that comparable number with strikeouts?
Not especially, but
there's not that many players that have more than 3,000.
yeah, it's not counted like hits,
Right.
but like if they get, like, for instance, like even when like Max Scherzer or Verlander, when they got to those milestones, it just
Okay.
like was like a blip on the radar.
Yeah.
Huh, all right.
Nobody
Well,
caught it.
because of
All right.
it's because of-
I'm just fishing for help here because I have no
I know.
idea.
I don't.
Shit.
Yeah, I don't know if Sheriff Robert Blake over here. I have never. I don't even know if I know who he is.
Sheriff
right.
Robert Blake's going to be lower.
All right.
I never even heard of him, so I hope so.
So Beretta is
Thank you.
621. 621.
Yes.
All right.
So Vita Blue, higher
Ah,
or lower than 621?
I don't like this guy.
we don't like Vita Blue.
Well, let me tell you why. Here, I'm also my
Sure.
Vita Blue story.
No,
So-
please.
One thing that my mom and I, a really weird thing we did for our autographs, we were trying to get an autograph of every single person that Nolan Ryan struck out. When he got 5,000 strikeouts, Sports Illustrated did a list of every single player who struck out and how many times he struck out. So we had this poster. Unfortunately, I don't have it anymore. Like Ricky Henderson wrote 5,000 K, and other guys just laugh. Like one guy wrote, "Man, Nolan Ryan's the pits," so he literally signed his autograph on his armpit.
No.
And Vita Blue refused to sign the poster because he said it was a negative thing in his career.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
I was
What
like,
a,
really?
what a J-Brone, man.
And I'm
What
like a
dirty-
13-year-old kid. I'm just like, okay, I don't know why I'm bringing the, I'm like,
Yeah, the honky tonk man of baseball conventions.
Yeah.
apparently.
Well, I mean, this is at the game. We went to the San Bernardino game, was getting autographs from these guys.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, that one
So
was
you know
San
what?
Bernardino
He's going to
Pride
be
games.
higher. He's going to be
He
higher
is.
than
Yeah,
621.
he will be.
So
But thank you. I
higher.
wanted my Vita Blue story.
What
I
a
thought that was
job
kinda
boy,
funny.
dude.
So
He's a good pitcher now.
2,175. He actually had 45 in 15 games. But he also had 53 earned runs. He had a 5.55 ERA in the Senior Professional Baseball Association. So
You know what's interesting too, Mongo? In our board here, we have the two senior league pitchers on our board is Doc Ellis versus Vita Blue, which were the starting pitchers in the 1971
there you
All-Star
go.
Game.
Wow.
Wow.
Shut it down. Shut it
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, put it to bed, Dustin Hoffman. Wapner's on TV.
I've never seen that in the
2175.
Doc Ellis documentary. I swear.
This is a very interesting one. 2175. Billy Wagner, higher or lower than 21?
Billy Wagner's going to be slightly lower. Slightly lower. No matter how cool he tries to look in that picture. He's
Yeah.
And
slightly
you know what?
lower.
And he's a reliever.
He's a
Primarily,
reliever.
so I think he'll be okay on that. But he'll have a good amount.
1,196.
Good job, Jack.
So Billy Wagner is someone that we need to do the research on. Like he is like one of the greatest relievers of all time, and people don't really know who he is.
That's happened to a lot of relievers, though. I mean,
That's very true. Very true.
relievers
So-
get. I mean, come on. You had like Eric Gagne.
Yes.
He's not. Who as that? Does he still have the record for most saves in a season? I don't know if he does, but he was an incredible pitcher, and just gotta don't even remember him now.
Yeah, that's true.
You got to have a gimmick. You got to get the haircut. You got to get the weird glasses with the little skull and crossbones. I mean, if you're going to be a cleanup man, have a gimmick.
So
Speaking of-
196.
well, speaking of gimmicks, Gaylord Perry, higher or lower?
Higher.
higher, of course. But of course, 3,534. So 35, 34.
Ouch.
35.
That's very impressive. And
Mi-
the other thing is with the
Mr.
Doc Ellis
Mr.
thing. Let me just
Mr.
because I didn't
No-hitter.
get to mention this part. The reason why I remember that also is the Ellis versus Vita Blue game was the first time that two black pitchers were both
Right.
starting in the
The All-Star game,
All-Star
that's
game.
right. And
So
then
it's very
Reggie
historic.
Jackson hit that home run on the roof.
Yeah, it was a very historic All-Star game at that moment.
That's right. So
Dude,
Doc Ellis.
I love me some Doc Ellis, but I'm going to go slightly lower, man.
You're fine, don't worry.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he has 2,000, honestly.
1,136. He
He has like Billy Wagner level. All right.
yeah, so he had 19 strikeouts in 22 games. He actually had a 1.76 ERA, but an 0-2 record in the senior league.
Sounds like he was relieving then. Okay.
Put the
He
women
might have
and
been.
children.
He probably
Put the
didn't throw
women
much.
and children to bed, dude. If you're scared, get off the street. Cowboy Jack's walking down the field.
All right.
So 11:36, Jim Bunning.
Senator Jim Bunning, right?
That's right.
He was actually a senator after his baseball career.
That's
Cowboy
right.
Jack.
What year is this?
So this is a 75 design. It's probably like it's a modern card,
Yeah.
but this picture was probably in the early 70s, maybe.
All right,
Late
we're gonna go higher than 1136.
I think you're okay with that one. And it has like the 75
Oh yeah, 75 design on the
back,
yeah.
like with that awesome.
Can you read that? Is this something funny? Is this something good to read there?
It says, who leads Puerto Rican pitchers in wins? It would be someone you don't know. It's Javier Vasquez.
Oh, okay.
Hobby.
Oh, yeah. Good old
Hobby. So
the Ed Brown should have known that. Is he still here?
2855. 2855.
Nice.
This is all right. Here you go, Jack. Now you're finishing off. This could be a little tricky one.
This is where it gets tricky because
Yeah.
Phil Necro is going to be. He's going to be right around that 2855 number.
And mind you, he's only about 40 in this photo.
Yeah, it's true.
Sure. So
Jack, you never saw Phil Necro in the 80s where he looked like he was 60 and he was still pitching. You know?
I actually did, and isn't he the inspiration for the old guy in Major League?
Very possible.
He's part of it. Yes.
Yeah, I think him and Gaylord Perry probably.
And Gaylord Perry,
right?
Sure.
So I'm gonna go slightly higher. Phil Necro.
I think you're okay with that one. So
you got it. He's probably like 3,500 ish.
The number to beat 2855. There was
4,000.
3342. Jack runs the board.
Walks down the field. I am the golden god, boys and girls.
That's right.
Welcome to the Cowboy Jack Show.
And he did it with Sheriff Blake right at the beginning.
Beretta was the red herring in there.
All right. So
I'm glad you mowed Sheriff Blake down.
All right, Kevin.
Yes.
Here
sir.
we go. You have some good ones here.
All right.
So another senior league player.
Oh yeah.
We know him because he's still very active on Twitter. This is Fergie Jenkins.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Ferguson Jenkins, Canada's greatest athlete.
Yes, I didn't. Yes, and Hall of Famer. I didn't get a chance to post it, but before I had my meltdown at Wrigley Field, I did get a photo with me in front of the Fergie Jenkins statue. Which
that's right.
Just
that's right.
unveiled this about early June. Good for him, man, because Fergie's fantastic. Oh no!
All right, Jim Palmer.
Oh my gosh, that's harder than anything on Jack's board right there.
This is real.
I don't like that one right there.
Yeah, this one's not going to make it any easier for you.
No. This game
very
is rigged.
Politically incorrect.
Oh,
Whitey Ford.
Oh, I thought you said Kurt Schilling.
you don't see very many Whiteys anymore. This is Whitey Ford. I love this. I mean, even though it's like a Photoshop picture, it's pretty cool.
And you don't see many people named Blackie anymore. To be fair,
that's true.
I mean, the guy from Lost.
There's Dickie Knowles.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay,
yeah.
Here we go. Another senior leaguer, the Mad Hungarian.
Oh my God.
Al Herboski.
Oh my gosh, he's
playing for the West Palm Beach Tropics.
Nice. That's the most mellow I think I've ever seen him.
Exactly.
You know, he's a little older now, a little grizzled. Well, he's grizzled back in the 70s.
Here's Herb Score. Boy, this is going to be tough.
You know what? If I can get to Al Herboski, I feel a little better. You know what I mean? That first, I might be one and done.
Doc Gooden.
Oh, there we go.
I might be inheriting.
Even that might be tough against Herb Score. All right.
Yeah, well, if you get to Nolan Ryan, you're
at least I win the board.
Yeah.
If Nolan, I have it.
There you go.
We know Nolan's the all-time leader. So.
And then, well, this is a slam dunk. Milt Pappas.
Well, I was gonna say, you know, we know that Nolan's number one all time. So if I get there, I automatically have it.
There you go.
But like I said, I might be one and done here. Because this one I do not know.
3192 for Ferguson Jenkins.
Oh,
the Iron Mike Sharp of baseball.
Or Dino Bravo. Oh, Dino Bravo's Canada's strongest man. I'm sorry.
There you go. Exactly. So
Dad, watch me flame out possibly.
Sure.
This one's gonna be very close.
Jim Palmer, 3192.
Good night, Irene.
This one's tough.
I seriously, I'm just gonna flip a coin here. Let me think about this. They both started right about the exact same time.
Yeah.
And played about the exact same number of years.
One
I'm gonna say a little
for a
lower.
lesser team, though.
I know. I'm gonna say a little lower.
All right, 3192
like
is the number to beat.
It's gonna be really close. You might have 32.
2,212.
Woo! Oh wow, I can't believe it was. All right, now I can relax a little bit.
Yeah.
I thought that was it.
I had a feeling he didn't have 3,000, but I didn't know he only had 2,200. That's surprising. Wow, that's
2012. It's because he played for the Cubs.
No, Jim Palmer.
I'm sorry, Jim Palmer. You're right.
I mean, you said lesser team. Like Jim Palmer had won a couple championships or got some World Series.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Okay,
he only played at the Orioles his entire career. I'll say higher for Whitey Ford. Although this is a tough one too.
Yeah, this is tough. So 20.
I might regret. I might miss this, but I'll say higher.
2012.
I might miss this one.
1,956.
Yep. I really thought when I said, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. So that was tough. So we still have another round. That we'll do.
God, I gave you an easy board.
Maybe. It depending on
these first three. My gosh, that
that
board was nasty.
That was brutal. Okay. So here we go. Cliff Melton.
Okay.
Why couldn't I
get Cliff Melton? Why'd I have to get 3 Hall of Famers to start? Jeez, this game's rigged.
Well, I'm getting a Hall of Famer right here.
Yeah, but versus Cliff Melton.
Randy Johnson.
Oh yeah, this game is rigged. I'm gonna play the Cowboy Jack this week.
And then Percy Jones. When a man. No, it's Percy Faith.
Okay, I was gonna say Percy Sledge.
All right, here we go.
Not Percy T. Pringle the Third or whatever his name was.
So Cliff Melton has 660.
This game is so rigged.
Randy Johnson.
I need Cowboy Jack on my side on this one.
Randy Johnson definitely will be higher.
He might have 8 times that much.
Wow, look at it's. You can barely read the. This looks like Morse code. Wow. Okay.
I'm disgusted with this board.
Wow. 4875.
I told you 8 times as much. Jack, this is the most rigged board ever.
It looks super rigged to me.
Percy Jones will definitely be lower than that. So Percy Jones played from 1920 to 1930 for Chicago Cubs, Boston, and Pittsburgh, and he has 382. Al Hrabosky, even though he was a middle reliever, he definitely will be higher.
I'm going to just shake my head in disgust at this point.
Arn Anderson Hrabosky?
Yes, 542.
You should definitely look up some Al Hrabosky.
He's
called the Mad Hungarian. He's definitely looking like a wild man. He had his whole routine on the mound when he was out there.
Herb score will definitely be higher than that. And
I'm the disapproving father right now. Just
oh, you know what?
What?
You may have to look this up. It does not. It has the wins, loss percentage, complete games, inning pitch, Ks. Oh, there it is. It's K. It's not under strikeouts. SO. Okay. So 837. That's actually less than I expected.
Cowboy Jack, you're going to be stuck in a runoff now. Jeez, with this board, I could have done this.
So definitely higher for Doc.
Just go. We're already an hour and 30 minutes in.
2293, 2293.
We're already an hour and a half in. Come on, people have
Nolan Ryan definitely higher.
Kevin. Jealousy rears its own ugly head, dude.
5,714. Milt Pappas will definitely be below that. And
I'm almost mad for you, Jack. I'm like, now he has this board.
So Milt Pappas actually has 1,728, which is way more than I expected.
He's a solid pitcher, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Jack and me are going to do the runoff, and we're going to use Kevin.
No. 2.
So Kevin,
Wow. You said the wow.
so
I'm
Cowboy
the
Jack and I are
bitter,
gonna
I'm
do
the
the
bitter
runoff.
grizzled vet.
So I'm gonna keep on flipping the cards here. Kevin, pick a number between 1 and 3.
All right, number 2.
Okay, so number 2, Cowboy Jack Durango. Your card is Dick Drago.
Oh, no, I'm
Dick
sorry,
Ivan
Cowboy Jack.
Drago. Let's go.
I'm
So-
sorry, Jack.
Hopefully he has a whole bunch of strikeouts here. So that's your card. I'm going to keep on shuffling. Kevin, pick a number between 1 and 2.
Let's stick to 2 because this
Okay,
game is a
we go.
deuce in
The
my
2,
opinion.
Jack Morris.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
Well, I don't think it would have mattered either way.
Yeah, Roy Halladay was the other card.
Yeah. Sorry,
Okay,
Jack.
So Dick Drago. He has
This is a formality here.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jack.
987.
Jack
Jack
Morris is
Morris.
like
Morris the cat.
3,500.
How many?
I said 3,500.
2,478.
Whatever.
So
Wow.
I win that round.
Because this game is rigged.
You
Jack,
know
good
what?
job on your board, by the way. That was a
I'm
tough
marched
board.
down the field. You know what? I'll take my loss proudly.
All right. So
I'm not taking my loss proudly.
Oh no. Yeah, I'm seeing that good sportsmanship, dude. I like it.
I need to drink more Mongo.
Yes, Cowboy Jack
know,
runs the
Cowboy
board
Jack.
but does not win. Yeah, and
You're
yeah,
like, no, see, everyone knows this game is rigged because no one's saying,
yes.
"Oh, good job, Mongo." No one's giving any
Hey,
props to Michael.
hey man,
It's all
luck.
nicely done, Jack.
I got a tough board that I had to battle down. He got a cakewalk. It's fine.
He really did.
There's always next week, Kevin.
All right, so
there's
Jack,
always right now. That's what I was saying. We gotta get a move on. We're doing 2 games today.
do you want to do 2 games or you want to go to straight to trivia?
Straight to trivia.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it. So, here we go. Let me get rid of this. Remove. Oh yeah, I'm gonna put that in there. Why is that not showing up? Here we go. All right, let's do some trivia to end it out for tonight. We want to hear from everybody out there. Let me know in the chat what your answers are to this question. Who is the shortstop who won a Gold Glove at age 39? Here are your choices. Ozzie Smith, Luis Aparicio, Derek Jeter, or Omar Vizquel.
Too easy, drill
I
sergeant.
saw you have Fanny here. And I have Bosom with my own cards. Does that count?
Jeez.
So Ozzie Smith played deep into his career. Luis Aparicio, also a very good shortstop.
Hall of Famer.
Derek Jeter. I don't know how. I don't know if he played to 39 or not.
3 Hall of
Vizquel,
Famers, though.
yeah. And everybody talks about Vizquel being a Hall of Famer.
But yeah, I mean, for his defensive skills, that's what people are arguing. So.
I just don't think he had a bat either.
No, that's why you probably won't get it, unfortunately.
So we got some. So definitely
I love
Ian
Omar.
going
Oh,
with
man.
Vizquel. Bubble Pug going with Vizquel. By the way, also in the chat, if you want to put any congratulations for me for winning Card Sharks, I
Please don't do that.
will definitely take them.
Please don't.
Disco,
'Cause
congratulations.
more or less, I
on
gave him
winning.
that game on a tiebreaker. You know, I was like, come on.
Wow.
I'm playing for both Jack and I.
I guess that makes up for our fantasy baseball for last week, where
Wah!
where one player just self-destructed and gave you the win. All right,
Bro,
so
I
I
beat
lost
the
that
win,
game.
sir. Excuse me. I beat you, sir. So now we're even. Oh, that was
there you go. Thank you, Bubble.
Thank you, MVP.
Michael.
Yes.
Great job.
Spaghetti. Cowboy Jack, who do you got?
I'm gonna go with Mr. Day After gift basket Derek Jeter.
Oh.
Oh my god!
Nicely done.
Sometimes, boys, I step up to the plate and hit a home run, and tonight's one of them. You know what I mean?
Perfect. Well done. Well done. Even if you're wrong, you're right.
Even if I'm wrong, baby, I'm right.
You go with someone different. Let me go with the veteran shortstop, Luis Aparicio.
Oh, all right. And the answer is actually it's Omar Vizquel.
I kind of should have figured it out.
Omar Vizquel. There's a really great YouTube video. He's like he's doing this demonstration of how fast that when he catches the ball, how he transfers it. It's really impressive. But from what he's one of those kind of like borderline Hall of Famers that won't get in. Unfortunately.
Yeah, the writers aren't going to vote him in. He might get in on Veterans Committee later.
All right, question number 2. Who was the winner of the American League's first most valuable player in 1931?
It was me, wasn't it?
Was it Jimmy Fox, Babe Ruth, Al Simmons, or Lefty Grove?
This must be a tough one because there's no answers in the chat.
This one's tough. Well, Kevin, this is in your wheelhouse. This was
1931.
Yeah, I think you were doing undergraduate work at this time.
Undergraduate. I was trying to survive the depression and the stock market crash. And prohibition was, Oh, we have a Jimmy Fox and Lefty Grove out there. All right. We're down to 2 answers on this board. I'm trying to decide how I want to go on this.
Right.
Well, you can tell how we're just like.
Yeah, this one's tough. It was the very first American League MVP in 1931. Who do you got?
I'm going to go with Jimmy. She take my money when I'm in need. Jimmy Fox, number 1.
How am I supposed to follow that?
You can't follow me
because I was going to pick Jimmy Fox, and now I can't. So I was going to go with the other person. I'm going to go with Al Simmons.
Ooh, Al Simmons.
Yes, sir.
Well, the answer is it is Lefty Grove.
Wow, Bubble Pug was so
well
sure on
done,
that.
Bubble Pug.
I wasn't sure because he's a pitcher. I was like,
in 1931, he was 31-4.
Oh gosh.
He had a 2.06 ERA. He had 27 complete games, 4 shutouts. And I believe that he beat out Lou Gehrig. Who had like
Bubble Pug got both trivia questions tonight.
Yeah.
Dude, we don't call her the MVP for nothing, champ. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, she got the MVP question right, so obviously.
Yeah. So some good stuff there. Thank you for participating in our baseball trivia. Unfortunately, we had a death in our baseball brethren. Kevin, you and I growing up in Southern California. I grew up in Arizona, but in Arizona we didn't have a team yet. The team happened when I left. Actually, in 98 is when the Diamondbacks were first started. But I grew up on Dodger baseball because it was an in-market team.
Yep.
And I listened to Vince Scully on the radio all the time. But one guy that I used to see all the time was this man, Mike Brito.
Oh, that's an amazing photo. That's a fantastic photo.
That's a solid joint.
That's a great photo. Because anybody who's watched a Dodger game, even in the last few years, you would see the guy with the hat in the suit with the gun. Always. Yeah, that's a great picture. Thank you.
Wow.
So he signed many players who reached the major leagues, most notably Fernando Valenzuela, who won the 1981 Rookie of the Year and Cy Young Award. He was a Cuban. he actually went down and scouted all these players. He also signed Julio Urias, which a lot of people, I remember, I saw Julio Urias's like first Dodger home start, and I remember hearing that Mike Brito signed him, and it was super awesome to know that. Like, I'm like, wow, Mike Brito's still signing players. That's so awesome.
Yeah, because he's like, his late 70s at that point.
Yeah. He, Julio Urias won 20 games in 2021. He also signed Yasiel Puig, Cuban pitchers. Puig was Cuban, but he also signed Ismael Valdez, Joaquim Soria, Antonio Osuna, Victor Gonzalez, Dennis Reyes, who actually, he was actually a Cardinal. I wasn't aware that Mike Brito signed him. Victor Gonzalez, and Juan Castro and Kareem Garcia. So,
and he's also in the Cuban Baseball Hall of Fame.
Right. Yeah, he's awesome because he had that Panama Jack hat and the
I wouldn't know him by name forever, and it was like you would always see him, and he's just, and then when I find out he's a scout, I'm like, what's he doing at the major league games all the time?
Exactly.
If you're a scout, would you be watching other teams, other leagues?
Yeah. And I mean, just such a seminal part, especially like back in those days, like there wasn't like HD TV, so like everything that was on the screen 4:3 ratio is like everything that was in there. It's like embedded in my head, and I just remember watching those games like because if I'm not mistaken, like the 80 World Series was at Dodger Stadium. That's when J.R. Richards started.
Wait. What?
The 80 All-Star Game.
Oh, All-Star Game. I thought you said World Series. Sorry.
No, the 80 All-Star Game. And then the World Series was in 81. He was also there. But like he was like a fixture. I remember there was like Monday Night Baseball. Like when they did it from Dodger Stadium, I was like he was on the screen all the time. Like who's like
because if you're not aware, when the camera is behind the pitcher's mound, literally behind home plate is just like a fence area, but you could see and you could just clearly see him always there. Always.
Yep.
Oh, every guy. It's like, okay.
Yeah, now with HGTV, you can just pick out the stars and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Somewhere there, like Mary Hart and all those. But anyway, it's sad to see that he passed away. 87 years young, and a baseball lifer. So salud, Mike Brito. Definitely could be a candidate for he's definitely a candidate. I'm just gonna put him in for candidacy for the Beer Baseball Diamond Icons Awards at the end of the year. So thank you so much for enjoying this Beer Baseball Blogcast. If you want to support us, go to our Patreon page. Search Beer Baseball, patreon.com/Beer Baseball. We have our Etsy store and beerbaseball.store, and you can find us here: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and Jackie Martling's favorite, TikTok.
Yeah.
Hey.
Woo.
Any last thoughts and remembrances?
Thank you for saying last thoughts, because last words, I'm done with you saying any last words because I figure someone's behind me with a shovel, hit me with it. Now I'll be buried in my backyard. So I actually got a friend of the show, the Redbeard Tap Room, which belongs to Anaheim. One of the owners, Al, hit me up saying, hey, you want to go see the Angels play tomorrow? Tony's pitching. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go. So I don't think I'm going to do pint and packs tomorrow because I think it's going to be, it was hard enough doing it at Toledo at a minor league game, little a major league game. So I think I'm going to do that on Thursday, the next 2 weeks, 7 p.m. Pacific. To see, what am I going to open? Oh no, I have really old cards. Do I dare pull these out? I've been waiting. Oh no, I only have 3 packs. All right, no, never mind. All right, we're gonna go with a wide spectrum here. We have 91 Tops and 86 Fleer.
There you go.
Week. The reason why is I have like the oldest packs I've ever opened on the show. I was saving those for a special occasion, so I'll save those for next week.
Cool. Definitely.
And I think I have one of your best friends forever beers in the fridge. I'm going to have that you had last week on the show.
Perfect.
That'd be a good combination.
Right on. Jack, what do you got?
Join us on Sunday on our Instagram page for Hazy History with Kevin Lyon and Cowboy Jack Durango. We will tweet out our subject.
Oh, okay. You'll have it ready. It's 12 noon. this new 12 o'clock noon on Sunday. I'm like, oh no, where's our notes? Right? We have all these notes that when we're gonna go live. We're live, pal.
I'm operating from my second office today, so I don't have.
I know, and I had, and of course, my screen's not loading. Of course, it's not loading right now. We're live, pal, right? But it's gonna be at 12 noon, and we have like all these lists. And it's gonna be about. They call him the Natural, the Natural. Not talking about Robert Redford, the Natural, but part of the story that inspired a critical scene in The Natural. A man we talked about on the show. We're about Eddie Wakis.
There you go.
Who, if you've been watching the show, you know, you've heard us definitely talk about over the years. So we're going to go do a deeper dive in Eddie Wakis and what happened to him.
Right on. Right on. I think Jack froze. Thank you so much, Ed. Thank you for the spirited chat and everybody in the chat for definitely keeping it fun. We definitely appreciate all your support. We're a little on the fence as to next week, only because we're going head to head with the AllStar Game. So I'm gonna leave it to you guys while I wrap up. Do we do a show, or do we do it on Wednesday? What do you think? Let us know.
Excuse me, we've gone head to head against 2 All-Star games, a presidential election, and you're saying you want
and the World Series.
Exactly, and you want a mere All-Star game that's happening 30 minutes from us in Los Angeles.
Do we do a show?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
What else am I gonna do? I can have the game on my television in the background. What do I care?
All right,
It's
been decided. We're gonna keep the streak alive.
Yeah. Why not?
Yes. Keep hope alive. Keep the streak alive. We love you all. Thank you so much for joining us for another Beer Baseball Blogcast. Craft beer and curveballs. We'll see you next week. Good night, everyone. Take care.